one of the biggest fights in Fire Force has been delivering in ways that I've never thought it would. Ever since Dragon first appeared, we knew this fight was going to go down. But who would have ever thought we would have had an interstellar battle between the Night King and the Dragon himself? A battle that would inevitably determine the fate of the world. This fight right here is a perfect example of why I think Okubo can draw some of the best fights in manga. Because if or whenever this actually gets animated, it's going to be talked about for a very long time. And I usually don't like to make such big claims. In fact, I've actually had somebody join my live stream and try to say that this was probably one of the best fights, if not the best fights in New Gen Shonen. And I was actually disagreeing with him until I actually thought about it and saw how this fight played out. And now, despite me disagreeing at the time, I think that he was actually right about this fight. Now, a lot of people have been confused about what's been going on in this fight, and I will be going over that, and hopefully you guys get the answers that you want to your questions. And to those of you who might have checked out this video that don't actually read Fire Force, but you're curious as to what is going on, I will be talking about this fight, and I'll be giving my opinions on it, so feel free to definitely check the series out after this. So right before Arthur actually confronts Dragon, we see that he has a new power, and it is reminiscent to that of a video game. And I like to call these Dragon Quest powers. Or, you know, if you want to be special, just call them JRPG powers. I don't know, but he's got them. And a lot of people seem to be confused as to why the power system is actually going this way. As in, why is Arthur using these video game powers when Fire Force's power system is supposed to be based on fire? And that's because, you know, just in case if you haven't watched my other Fire Force Exfoliator videos, go ahead and check them out so you can get more answers to questions that you may have. That is because the actual physics of the world that they're currently living in is changing due to the cataclysm. But not only this, it turns out the fire that they've been using in Fire Force is actually madness from Soul Eater. So we will potentially see the power system evolve from more than just being fire. And Arthur using these JRPG powers is a perfect example of that. So if you're confused as to why he had these sudden video game powers out of nowhere, that is actually your answer. So after Arthur fast travels to this location with Vulcan and you, the world suddenly begins to rumble from Dragon's despair, as the Titanic Wyvern awaits his fated battle with the Night King. Arthur then uses the powers of JRPGs and fast travels to run the ones with Dragon. And when he does fast travel, the ones do indeed get started. And Arthur, impressively enough, actually scratches Dragon. And Dragon, for the first time ever, actually feels pain. And as this fight proceeds, we probably get one of the coolest locations I've ever seen in a fight. If we ever got a Fire Force fighting game, this definitely has to be a stage. Dead ass, because this dude, like, they're literally fighting on clouds, and the moon is right above them. But not only this, Arthur continues to damage Dragon. In the way that the clouds are drawn during this fight are amazing, as you can see the electricity coursing through them. And the narration alone during this makes it hit that much harder. As the violent flash charged and the Great Dragon responded in kind. The battle between the strongest knew no limits, whether land, sea, or air. And as the confrontation continued underwater, the sea split, and Dragon charged Arthur while they were running across the waterfall and trading blows. Arthur's endless parries could barely ward off Dragon, as Dragon dragged him towards the sky. But in one split second, Arthur was able to retaliate, sending the Dragon back into the ocean and causing an explosion. It seemed as if they were evenly matched until Dragon had the high ground and took full advantage of it, until Arthur sent him into the sky and then eventually split it. Dragon's blood finally spilled, and he finally decided to get serious and unveiled his true form, completely overwhelming Arthur and bashing him through the clouds. Arthur, barely surviving the barrages from Dragon, tries to retaliate with Excalibur, but it isn't enough as Dragon drags him into space. And this fight goes from your average anime fight to a battle for the cosmos. This battle on the moon will determine which way this cataclysm goes, until Arthur suddenly stops breathing. After all, he is a human in outer space. It seems that all hope is lost, until Arthur pulls out his JRPG inventory, equipping the Star Ring. Once this ring is equipped, not only can Arthur breathe in space, but he can take all the thoughts from the people of Earth and turn them into power, which gave him this new form, which doesn't officially have a name, but I'm going to call it Adala Arthur since he actually grasped the power of Adala when he turned into this form. And in this form, not only did him and Dragon destroy the video game words that were surrounding them, they were flying through space and destroying the stars that were around them, trading slashes and punches until both Dragon and Arthur ended up being fatally wounded. And this is the point in the fight where I'm going to start giving my opinions and let you guys read the rest for yourselves. So I'm actually caught up in a lot of weekly manga, and a lot of these mangas have been hitting, but none have really been hitting on the level of Fire Force. Even with Jujutsu Kaisen and My Hero Academia added into the equation, Fire Force has just been hitting the hardest, and this fight is just one small example of that. And I'm not going to lie to you, when I was first reading Fire Force, the manga did feel like a drag, but after this one part in the manga, the weekly releases have just never been missing. It's been so consistent that I can say that this series without a doubt is the one that I'm looking forward to reading every week more than any other. Granted, there might be a moment in Jujutsu or My Hero that might make me a little more anticipated for the next chapter. When it comes to the overall week by week enjoyment, I will definitely say that this is definitely the one. And this is why you guys need to get caught up, because I'm pretty sure there are plenty of you that don't even know that this fight is happening right now in the series. This series is deep. It's literally reaching some of its most hype moments since it's actually entering its climax. And if you don't want to get spoiled, or if you do not want to miss out on this hype, you gotta seriously get caught up in this series. Because if not, you're gonna miss out on more epic moments like this fight between Dragon and Arthur and whatever's going to come after it. Don't wait on the anime, because the time to read this series is definitely now.